Hey y'all, I'm so excited to be sharing my warm reviews of the Scentsy Holiday Collection. We got this as consultants as an early access bundle, and I cannot wait to jump in and tell you what I thought and how these bars performed. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so we can stay in touch. Now, as a quick reminder, I do use mostly 25 watt and up Scentsy warmers. Those warmers are typically on for about 15 hours a day. So when I say one day, I mean 15 hours because I do turn them on in the morning and off at night. The first bar that I warmed through is Holiday Market, and this list was scent notes of pink grapefruit, pomegranate juice, and allspice stalls. I think they are intending to say that this smells like the stall that would sell spices in the Holiday Market, and I can definitely see that. The allspice here is not bakery leaning at all. One of the interesting things to me about this fragrance was when I cold sniffed it, I definitely did pick up like a pomegranate juice note. The pink grapefruit even seemed to be providing a juicy quality. This is not a juicy bar to me on warm. When I warmed this bar, it was a drier, earthier, more potpourri scent. So I think you could be disappointed if you are expecting a cider scent. However, it is beautiful for what it is. I used 8 cubes in my open concept and I got really solid performance. I did get 2.5 days out of the bar in my open concept. It was beautiful. I will say the first 3 hours or so, I was a little concerned that it was going to lean medicinal. However, that note dissipated rather quickly and it did stay more of a dry potpourri note. I didn't think it was going to make it to the second day because it did have a dip, but it turned out that the second day, I loved the fragrance even more than I did on the first day. It didn't have any of those medicinal notes that kind of got me in the beginning, and it was just a beautiful potpourri fragrance that I really enjoyed. This is Bundle Up, and I really enjoyed this melting in my bedroom. This was one of those fragrances to me that on cold sniff, it leaned a little bit body care or almost lotion, and it stays that way in the space, but it doesn't stay like dominant body care. It is more of a cozy scent, and I think that's something that the sandalwood provides. So this list was scent notes of sandalwood with mandarin and vanilla orchid. I do have to say it's possible that the mandarin is bringing kind of almost a sweet undertone to this fragrance or lightening up the sandalwood in some way. But for me, I didn't discern the mandarin at all. Like I don't pick up a citrus note at all. I do pick up the vanilla orchid and the sandalwood, even though they're very well blended. Again, this is just a cozy, beautiful bedroom scent. For me in my space, I got 3 days of performance, and this is a bar that it does, again, it leans more in the direction of like a cozy cardigan type fragrance. So it's a background scent, even though it has a nice medium throw, it layers well. Just a really cozy, good bedroom melt, I think. This is Frosted Fantasy, and it is the winner in my book of the bar that goes through the most transformation from cold to warm, and then from first half of the warming cycle to second half of the warming cycle. It lists as scent notes of bergamot with snowdrop blossoms and a cedarwood cottage. When I smelled this on cold, thought, this is a perfumey bar. And so I immediately was thinking about like frosted cedar and some of those fragrances, and I thought that's what I would get with this. However, when I popped this in my warmers, it was a solid medium throw with a light intensity of this fruity scent. I used 4 cubes in my closed concept living, and I just was really surprised. I think it's either the bergamot or the snowdrop blossom that really does provide this beautiful kind of light, fruity, very mellow, potentially woody scent. Now, what happened at the 6 hour mark is the intensity of the wood fragrance just really developed, and they almost like leveled out and went through this transition of becoming this super balanced, beautiful woodsy bar, and it stayed that way through the second day of melting that bar. A bar that also surprised me is Winter Twilight. It has notes of mint, lemon peel, and warm amber. I've melted this twice. I did 2 cubes in a bedroom, and then I did 4 cubes in my open concept. And I got really great performance both times. The lemon peel and the amber, I believe, kind of provide this almost aquatic, aromatic quality to the crisp mint. What is surprising to me about this bar on warm that I did not discern on cold is I do believe that this is the same mint that exists in Peppermint Rush. It is a very minty mint. It is almost like a toothpaste leaning mint. And then, in addition to that, it has lemon peel and this warm amber that provide this unique spin on what is otherwise a very intense mint smell. I will say it is a medium throw and still for me a light intensity, which is very interesting because Peppermint Rush, if you've smelled that, is a dominant, like you need one cube of it and that's it. So I am not saying that it's like that at all. This bar does throw really well. I did only use 4 cubes in my open concept, but it's wonderful to me because I think it takes this kind of very dominant forward mint and makes it much more approachable and really unique in a space. So it's a delightfully surprising bar to me, and I did get 2 days in both spaces. Now, this is the bar that I was the most excited for. This is Ginger Cookie Crunch. And as someone who is a fan of frosted ginger cookie, I can say this is absolutely a totally different bar. So the frosted ginger cookie to me is completely unique. It's still my favorite. I still prefer it to this bar, but this bar is great in its own quality. I'll get into it. But frosted ginger cookie actually has ginger as a dominant note. It's like a ginger cookie. This is got ginger that is more of a background note. It lists with scent notes of crystallized ginger with crushed nutmeg and vanilla bean. And it absolutely smells to me like a cookie that maybe has like not fresh, but bakery powdered like spice ginger in it and only a very tiny bit. It's not a spice cookie. I used 4 cubes in my office because I didn't know kind of how this was going to be. And I did get 3 days out of it, which is great. However, each day was a little bit unique, and I want to talk to you a bit about that. So, on the first day, I felt like there was a ginger note for about the first 8 hours. But by the end of that first 8 hours, the ginger and the nutmeg had almost completely dissipated, and I was left with what to me smelled a lot like a graham cracker leaning fragrance. It was like almost like graham cracker crunch. I do think it's a great bakery bar, and it's definitely a club contender and my favorite of this collection. I can't believe I'm going to give this my number 2 spot, but I am just because I think it's so unique the way that they have kind of transformed an old mint into something quite new and that performs very differently. Now, my third place finisher is going to be Frosted Fantasy. I really love this bar, and there's not a dud in the bunch to me. So, no losers, but I would give my fourth position to Bundle Up, and that leaves the fifth position for Holiday Market. As I kind of pull out and I think about all the collections that we have right now and this one that's coming, when I think about this collection, I think what makes it stand out as a wonderful option is as a gift. So all of these bars are extremely good performers with medium throw, but they have a light intensity, which make it really giftable. And they do come in this gift bag, just like well, it's not just like, but it's similar to the Harvest collection. So I think that's where this particular collection shines the most to me because they are all good medium throwers. They have a light intensity. I think they're going to be very broadly appealing. If I'm doing my ranking of which collection I like the best of the 3 that have recently come out and this one that is coming out in October, I would still tip my hat to the Harvest collection that's currently available. As someone who loves fragrances, I think those are also broadly appealing. They just are a little bit bolder and take some bigger steps than this particular collection does. And I do still have to give my second place to Gourdy Goodness because I love pumpkin roll so much and it's the inspiration for that whole collection. However, for me, this collection is one that I definitely think I will be repurchasing and gifting. I'd love to know what your thoughts of it are in the comments below if you've had a chance to melt it. And if you haven't, what scents are you the most interested in from this collection?